Yo, what's happening, everybody? You know what it is. My name is Malik. Welcome to the channel. Today I got a bit of a fun reaction video. This one's called Shower Thoughts That Blow My Mind. I've always laughed at these over the years. My favorite one that I've ever seen was on Twitter a long time ago. This dude was like, yo, what if Instagram instantly gave you a gram? I got such a good laugh out of that one. Ever since then, I've been enjoying stuff like this. Before we get started, I'm on the road to 100, baby. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Comment below which one we see in the next one. I'm gonna get to it. Give me video ideas. Mine are terrible. I've rage quit so many times the past few days on my own ideas. Help brother out. Not gonna waste any more time though. Let's get to it.
So I made this video on the English language last year. I double checked, and yep, it's still weird. Like, when you scratch something out of your notes, you're just noting to yourself that that note no longer needs to be noted. And like, why do horrible and horrific mean the same thing, but terrible and terrific mean the opposite? To make matters worse, the phrase "this blows" and "this sucks" are both opposite and identical at the same time. A lot of our...
I thought he was doing an intro at first, just out about a video he made, but like, my minds are... It's 22 seconds.
Phrases don't even make that much sense to begin with. Slow and steady wins the race works for a lot of things actually, but the one thing it doesn't actually work in is in an actual race.
Never thought about that.
Something is mostly a bad thing, but breaking the ice is usually a good thing. People usually put "gone but not forgotten" on their tombstones, but for most people, after like 3 or 4 generations, that's really just not true at all. If anything is possible, then isn't it possible that some things are impossible? In the same way, I guess, when people say we're not perfect, doesn't that make us perfect at not being perfect? I'm just gonna confuse myself if I keep going. Why do we have fingertips but not toe tips? Like we can tiptoe but we can't finger tip? You also don't really know how the word red is red, unless it's red.
These cannot be sober thoughts. These are diving so deep into the most simple, mundane topics. And it's all coming at me so fast.
And the more I light my lighter, the lighter my lighter gets until it's too light to light. The word separate is written all together, but the words altogether are written separately. Extraordinary and extraordinary are antonyms. You know, it's crazy what a single space can do. But remember, every single time you press the spacebar, there are 6 million other people pressing it at the same exact time as you are. Speaking of space, in the last Shower Thoughts video, I mentioned reality television. I double checked this too, and yeah, it still sucks. But don't you think a really good show would be flying flat Earth?
I don't mind reality TV like that. I mean, I know what the deal is. I know it's not all real, but some are legitimately entertaining to me, at least. I watch MTV's The Challenge, and I grew up watching like all those love reality shows like Flavor of Love, I Love New York. I mean, just for like the drama and stuff like that, because it's funny. I don't take it seriously. It's just entertainment, that's all.
Watching them react to it? Sure, it'd be expensive now, but in like 20 years, maybe not so much. If you made it to space, congratulations. You're casually floating around in the void. Now, if you just randomly started peeing, you would actually cause an acceleration. It'd work the same way that a rocket does. This wouldn't work if you're dehydrated, though. Drink your water. But even then, we don't buy water, we rent it. We use it, then return it, it's cleaned, and then sold back to you again.
That's my favorite one so far. I like that one, and my voice just cracked again. I'm 25 years old.
Life is crazy. In other water-related news, fire trucks are just water trucks. You know, shout out to water. Through condensation and precipitation, for almost 4 billion years, it's been traveling all around and throughout the planet, only to end up in my shower. You know the deal by now. These are shower thoughts. Things have changed a lot over the course of history. There are people alive in their 90s that were born before the world's population hit 2 billion. When the world's oldest person, Kane Tanaka, was born 117 years ago, the global population was just 1.6 billion. In just one person's life, we've gone from 1.6 to 8 billion.
God
Things
damn.
are constantly changing. The majority of superpower countries in the world have been around for thousands of...
All right, so that one's actually fascinating because I've never kept track of like population counts. I mean, especially from when I was young, because I was born in 95. So I could fall in this category, but that's something that's just legitimately interesting.
years, and most of the cities in the world are probably older than the countries they're in. If you're 25, you've been alive for over 10% of the United States' history. That's kind of insane when you think about the position the country has gone through over the past 250 years. The good, the bad, and even the ugly. Okay, maybe a lot of ugly.
Yeah.
You know, they
a
say
lot
it
of it
takes
being in the
10,000
past
hours
year
to
at
master a
that.
skill, but I've been alive for way more than 10,000 hours, and I've yet to master the skill of life. When you're a kid, you think adults somehow know everything and have their lives together.
Seriously.
But once you grow up, you realize that many people genuinely have absolutely no clue what they're doing sometimes.
And I actually see that with a lot of people, like adults. I want to say the previous generation in my life now. I'm like, they're still figuring some things out. But when I was younger, I just looked up to these people. I thought they had the answer to everything. I thought they knew everything. And as I got older, I kind of just, obviously reality hits you when you get older. But it's just something I found fascinating, just because that's probably what the next generation is going to go ahead and think, and then the next one, all that.
Also, when growing up, you realize how absurd daily life is. We pay the zoo to look at a bunch of stolen property, most of us have dead bodies in our freezers, and your lap only really exists when you're sitting. When you stand up, it just becomes your legs again. I don't make the rules, okay? Life is frustrating. And something that's been frustrating me lately more than usual is that we have wireless chargers that are actually more restricting than just normal wired chargers. It's fine though. No one is texting me anyway. Most of the time, having the last word in an argument means you've won. But if that argument is over text, getting left on red kind of feels like you've lost.
It does.
Oh, and by the way, if you didn't...
I keep my red receipts on for that reason. I feel like leaving someone on red has the same effect as the old school phones when you can hear the hang up, when you hear the I feel like leaving someone on red has that same effect. I've always had my red receipts on, just so you know. I saw it. I ain't responded to it though. That's only if it gets to that point. I'm a nice guy, I swear.
No, your fingers don't have muscles in them. Whenever you move your fingers, your palm and forearm are doing 99% of the work. Your handwriting is actually just your hand's accent, so I guess slurring your words when you speak is just talking in cursive. Remember though, you don't get paid on how hard you work. You get paid on how hard you are to replace. Life isn't fair, but at least we're trying, right? Birth certificates are usually the first participation award people get in life. It's kind of weird welcoming a child into the world, since they've already been here as long as everything else has, just in a different form of matter. I guess it's just like celebrating the temporary collection of atoms that make you, you. Wow, I think I actually just described birthdays well. Death certificates are pretty much like saying, thanks for playing. We pass the anniversary of our death every year without knowing. Who knows, it could even be today. Death...
Don't make me sad. I was having a great day. I'm not trying to think about that. I got so much in my life I'm still trying to do.
Is a movie. Nightmares are just the trailers. They say that life flashes before your eyes when you die. So what if every time you blink, you're actually just taking screenshots to show yourself before you die? The last person in your friend group will go to all of your funerals, but no one will go to theirs. Don't feel sad though.
That's
This
horrible.
just means that they're the last friend to hatch their skeleton. Most video games prevent you from sleeping when danger is nearby. Think about that the next time you can't fall asleep at night for no reason. Remember everyone, if you can't sleep, just know that if you lay down with enough force, you'll fall asleep instantly. Are you scared of heights?
Define force. Do I slam myself on the bed as hard as I can like I'm taking a pedigree or something like that? I want to know what he means about force. That's probably a dumb question.
A lot of people are, and miss out on things like parachuting. But there's no reason to worry. If your parachute doesn't open, you have the rest of your life to fix it. You're not afraid of falling, you're just...
That's a move. Why would you say that? I was really about to be like, because look, I'm personally scared of heights to an extent. I'll do roller coasters and stuff like that, but I've always said I'll never go skydiving for the fear of that. And I was actually getting to be like, yo, maybe I might do it. And then the way he just said that, nah, you had me in the first half.
afraid of hitting the ground. You don't really know that you've forgotten something until you can't remember it. Think about how many things you've actually forgotten. Oh, wait, you can't. But, speaking of forgetting things, the center of gravity is the letter V, and it's pointing down. And, I couldn't fix that parachute. You're a murderer, you know that, right? You've murdered trillions
Bugs.
of bacteria in the shower. Fun fact, cannibalism can solve both the issues of overpopulation and world hunger at the same time. Two birds with one stone. Alright, so plastic dinosaurs are made of plastic, and plastic is made of oil. And oil comes from fossil fuels, from actual dinosaurs. So technically, dinosaurs never left, we're just turning them into plastic. We've always been told that an asteroid killed the dinosaurs.
Pretty solid conversion, I would say.
But what if the asteroid was just a spaceship, and we're the aliens? Take Me to Your Leader is just the alien version of Let Me Speak to Your Manager. For some reason, we've been pretty much branding aliens as Karens all along. We've been looking for extraterrestrial life for decades, but we can't really find anything. Most of us just completely dismiss UFO abduction stories because, well, they're usually insane and made up. An animal who was captured from the wild and studied by human biologists would probably tell the same story. Because of this, life is seen as rare. But think about it. The rarest animals on Earth might not actually be rare. They might just be really good at hiding from us. It's the same principle. Now that I mention it, the principle of YouTube itself is interesting to say the least. It feels like whoever you're watching is talking directly to you and you never think anything of it. But in reality, I'm here in my room by myself, talking to myself.
That's just the way it is though, but honestly, doing that has helped my public speaking. I started YouTube in 2018. I didn't do a lot, but it helped me a lot with public speaking and just communicating with people in general because at the end of the day, I'm just talking to my camera. It helped me in so many ways that I can't begin to cover. But I'm grateful for what it's done. I'm gonna keep doing it and let's see what happens from there.
I'm lonely. Everyone
Me
wants
too.
to comment first like they're proving something. But if you really want to be special, being last is a lot more impressive. I can understand it though. The first person to do anything is usually the one that's remembered for it. But since we don't remember pretty much anything from when we were babies, can you even remember the first time you started gaining consciousness?
No.
Maybe that's exactly what our first memory really is.
No, my first memory goes back to when I was 3. It's when that Wonder Ball candy came out. And I remember getting it just because I heard the commercial and the little jingle they had with it. That's my earliest memory, but can't go any farther beyond that.
You really have zero idea of when you were born. You just take everyone else's word for it. Fruit, just like humans, have belly buttons where they were plucked from. And your belly button is technically just your old mouth. So now that I think about it, the fruit we grow is essentially eating away at the sun every single day. And we eat that fruit. So in a sense, the sun doesn't really taste that bad. I know, that can be a lot to take in, so just relax for a second. But wait, if you're laying on an open field, that kind of makes the entire earth your backpack. So you're pretty much carrying the weight of the world.
That's so stupid. That is so stupid, but I love it.
People usually say things like, I'm 6 feet tall, but that's only when you're standing. If you're laying down, you're 6 feet long. So technically, tall people sleep longer. When you hug someone, so like once a year for most of us, they're the closest person in front of you. But at the same time, they're also the furthest person on Earth behind you. I know, it's sad. But hey, you've survived 100% of the things you've ever encountered in life. You're undefeated. Every person you know knows a different version of you. It's like you're a video game and everyone you know is at different save points. The only thing is, you're the only one who can finish it. But remember, the person you see in the mirror and the voice you hear in your own head is not the same person that the rest of the world sees and hears. The only person who truly knows you is yourself. And you don't even know yourself that well. You've forgotten most days of your life, just as everyone else has, and you'll continue to forget.
God
So for now,
damn.
for the time being, even if the world is falling apart, just try and remember the good. And by the way, the letter W definitely starts with a D.
Interesting video to say the least. My mind was blown at many of the facts. Some were funny, some were just kind of weird, and then others were just plain sad. But cool video nonetheless. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one. Be smooth.